Happy Saturday night, Surgeaholics. Welcome to the Sooner Surge, the 9:30 podcast that tells it like it is each and every night. A lot of sports news in the world today. You had the Army-Navy game. You had OU basketball put a whipping on Oklahoma State in a bedlam matchup. You have the Thunder right now in a very tight game against the Rockets in the NBA Cup. And the big news from Norman, Oklahoma on the football side of things is Deion Burks is staying. Finally, some good news in Norman.
Great news. It's not a portal get, but it's a guy that's sticking around that I think a lot of Sooner fans were wondering, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? And they put the video out today that he's back. That's great news in the Arbuckle system. I would think if he's healthy, he has a really good year. I mean, he was on his way to a good year last year until he got injured. So,
Jay,
the positive. OU needs positive news right now, and this is very positive.
What were your thoughts on that? Because what if he would have said no, man? That would have been a weird video. I'm just
they
kidding.
weren't, you knew when the video was released, he's staying. I mean, I've seen other teams do videos like that, and it's kind of cheesy in the fact that you know what the outcome's going to be. I did, and Hunter, maybe you can drop it. I did love the fact that he's switching to number 4. Nick Anderson's number. I think that was great.
Well, Kyle, I hope, and if that's true, Jay and I put a smoke room video out 2 years ago saying that he was going to OU.
That's right.
That would
Burks
be a
is back,
get Roach, in my opinion.
Mr. B says Burks giving up number 6 for Mateer, even though Mateer was number 10 last year. But number 10's open too. Bauer Sharp is gone, so it's open. The number's wide open. So Kelvin's asking, did y'all watch the what do you I don't know what he's trying to say.
All
there,
the
Kelvin.
players coming in and turning their jerk. The only one I've seen is Deion Burks.
Deion Burks. Yeah, so
yeah.
He's a Baker fan. Yeah.
If they could also retain Jaden Gibson, you then pull in maybe a Bradley or a Hunter out of the portal, maybe both. It starts looking a little better on the wide receiver thing.
Yeah. Well, and Gibson, Gibson, I assume will be back. I would love to see. Aaron's saying retire Baker's number. What do people think on here? Should that number on offense be retired?
Yes.
OU doesn't do that very often.
No.
I mean, do they do it?
No, not much. Have they, Jay?
I don't think you see. I don't think you see it very often.
No, because they don't do it, Jay. Boz is still worn.
Well, I don't think you see it very often in college, if any. I think it's mostly a pro thing.
Yeah. Would lead to way too many Hunters. Yeah, it would.
Do you think Burks will play slot?
I think that's where he needs to be, Jay.
You do?
Yes. That's his natural position, Jay.
Mess doesn't like retiring numbers. I think it's more of a professional thing. So, and there's too many players on the roster to retire. That's a good point, Aaron. But now you can use the same offensive numbers and defensive numbers. So, and it isn't basketball. I agree with that.
It isn't basketball, but OU basketball tonight looked really, really good again.
Oh, they put a whooping on, man. Unbelievable. I like this team. Porter Moser, man.
I was there earlier, Sooner fan. If you were there, we should have met up, man. I didn't know you were there. It is top notch. One of the greatest small town Christmas parades in the entire country, Jay.
Why are you yelling about a Sepulpa Christmas parade?
Because I can. Travis Hunter wins the Heisman.
Has that become your new favorite jacket?
No, it's been my favorite. So it's not a new favorite jacket. It's always been my favorite.
I don't remember it last year. It must be pretty new.
I'm back in this hidey hole where the heat doesn't work great, so I got to wear my coat back here.
Hey, the Heisman was tonight. Man, remember?
Great speech.
Great speech by Travis Hunter. You know what? Him or Genty, either one would have won it. I would have been fine. I think either one of those guys could have won it. But I will say this. has the running back position kind of dwindled as far as like a star status position? Yeah.
I don't know about dwindled.
Well, I just think that position. No, it used to be like that position would get so much publicity, but I kind of think it's if people run the ball good, they say offensive line was great.
Yeah, Jay, the spread is kind of taken away from those guys. Wait, hey, terrible speech. Kelvin, let me tell you what I liked about it before you just yeah, I am a teacher. You know what I liked about his speech, Kelvin? He didn't sit there and read something from a sheet of paper.
That's true.
To me, and he had eye contact. He looked straight at the camera mostly. It seemed very genuine. He didn't read a sheet of paper. What was it? The best language that was used? No, he could have used the anaphora. He could have asked rhetorical questions. He could have given other kind of speech language. It was just I thought, a really good speech.
Yeah, and if you saw the votes, it was a big gap between second and third. It was obviously the first two were pretty tight. And then, great speech to come from the heart. That's exactly what it was. I loved it. I was going to get to something. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, this right here. DJ sucks, but it's a quarterback trophy now. I was glad to see a quarterback not win it. Same. And I was specifically glad to see I would have been glad for a running back to win it, or in Travis Hunter's case, a wide receiver and a defensive back. I think it's great. I think it's great. I actually think it's great for the sport.
Absolutely.
You know what's funny? I was listening to the radio today, and this came to mind. This topic came up, the Heisman. They were talking about Cam Ward. Now, I don't know I've not looked this up, so don't quote me on it. I'm just going back based off what they said on the radio. And before I get to this, hit the freaking like, as Lori says. They said Cam Ward coming out of high school, and Hunter, maybe you can verify this, 0-star recruit. Went to Incarnate Word, and then after that, a man by the name of Ben Arbuckle got a hold of him, and now he's in the Heisman. I did not. Is there such thing as a 0-star recruit, or are they just maybe exaggerating on that? No, correct. So look what he did in 4 or 5 years, man. Unbelievable. I think it's a great story.
Jay.
I love the Heisman award show because of stuff like that. You see guys, you hear stories about him. I think it's great.
Hey, will we see? And by the way, yeah, Braden mentioned the tight end. The guy from Ball State looks like he's done. Jay, were you
Luke Haas at Ole Miss.
Luke Haas at Ole Miss. Do you think, Jay, that we will see more videos like Burks now? Is that going to be a thing they do, or is that just kind of distinct of Deion Burks?
What I think is, here's what I had two kind of thoughts about this. On the one side of me, you have it was cheesy because you knew he was going to be coming back when the video started. The other part of it is this. I do love the fact that they're recognizing guys for sticking around now, not going to the NFL, or you know what I mean? I like that they're going to, I would say the same thing if Quinn Ewers were to come back and play that. Hey, if they built it up as a big deal, I like the fact that they do that. Now, video, you could say it can be cheesy because you all knew when the video started, he wasn't going to say, Brent, I'm done. And it was ending there. I did like the whole pull the jersey down, different number. I thought that was cool.
Hey, did you, and this is Jeremy's theory on some things. Mine, nobody else. I'm not on Insider Board. This has nothing to do with anything. This is me. I think Nick Anderson, Brennan Thompson, Andrew Anthony left. I think Deion Burks, and I'm hoping Jaden Gibson did too. They went to the staff and said, listen, guys, we'll stay, but you're going to have to pay a little.
Well, I'm sure.
Otherwise,
I'm
out. After those guys left, I probably think they felt like we're going to be able to get a little more money here.
Well, I'm sure they did, but here's the thing. Also, I would think that they would want, like Burks, he's probably going to want to be the dude, be the guy in an offense that's actually a passing offense and can get guys open.
Hey, Jen, I'm warning you right now. Let's not use language.
What?
I was just warning Jen about language in the chat.
I don't see any language.
I don't mind that for Burks. If Burks is healthy, he's proven he can be a really good receiver. If he's healthy, he's proven he can be really good. He was good before he got injured.
He was. He's got to.
With no help on the outside at all.
Yeah, we haven't talked about a couple things. Navy, they looked really good today.
Not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it.
And then also Jackson Arnold to Auburn. It's a done deal. First game back will be in the SEC against Oklahoma and Norman. So I thought it was funny if you saw the thing that Auburn put out today. It showed their quarterback room. It said the best, highest recruited quarterback room or whatever. And then within like 5 minutes, one of their guys had entered the portal. But
Walker White.
Did you see he's the highest recruited quarterback to ever play at Auburn?
I did see that, Jay. Any chance OU swaps and gets him instead of Arnold?
What?
They do a swap. Arnold to Auburn, White to OU.
Oh, I thought you said Thorne. I was like, please, no.
Hey,
Jeez.
Jackson Arnold will be in Norman now, September 20th. Auburn
will he be starting?
That battle. Do what?
Will he be starting? Will he be starting in your opinion?
I think he would be, but I don't know that.
I would think he would be.
Monty, that's kind of old news, and I don't think he's going to stay in college. I think he's going to pros.
Hey, I wish Jackson the best as well. I hope he does well. Any chance Nick Anderson changes his mind? No. Bobby says yes. I don't know if he's saying yes to Arnold or yes to Nick Anderson.
Who's BB gaslighting?
I don't know.
Hit the like button.
The question about Nick Anderson, I don't know why Nick Anderson would come back after the whole supposedly situation, but who knows? I think that would be kind of weird. I think he's done, guys. He's left. He's gone. He's not at OU anymore.
Hey, there's hyperbolic language, and then there's extreme hyperbolic language. Matt, that is extreme hyperbolic language. Everyone in here knows that won't be true. It's a little bit exaggerated or a lot exaggerated.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And it is
what else,
crazy,
Jeremy?
It's crazy. It's crazy that I don't know that he would make more money in the NFL, and that's why it's interesting if he should come back. But what else, Jay? You've got to somehow keep Gibson. You've got to start getting a couple guys out of the portal now. I do like the James Thompson kid, Jay, from Wisconsin. If you go read his story, I want to say 6'5", 295, okay? Was at Illinois first, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Hunter. Went to Wisconsin. No, that's incorrect. He high school in Illinois. He's been at Wisconsin. He had a pectoral tear. So he did not play but like one game this year. But if you go to years past, he had a few sacks on the year, had, I think, 19 tackles in 2023. I think he could be a good defensive tackle get out of the portal.
Yeah, I think you sit here and talk about it, though, and there's a few people talking about Micah Hudson, but I think the whole thing is, where are they going to go with quarterback? Is Mateer going to enter the portal this week? Who knows? Is Michael Hawkins going to be the starter? I don't know. I think that's where a lot of Sooner fans are waiting on to see what happens with that situation in Mateer. Supposedly Mateer was supposed to make a decision on if he's going to go to the portal after this weekend. We'll see. We'll see what happens in that situation. I hope he does go to the portal, just because I think Michael Hawkins needs some competition, and I think he'd be great. 295.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. Mateer reason Burks is coming back. I don't know, but Bradley visiting.
Oh, no.
Jay and I are very high on Jaron Bradley.
Yeah, I'm surprised, though, he hasn't done a whole lot in his career yet. I mean, as a freshman, he did at Tech.
What was the story this year, Jay?
I don't know. As a freshman, he did at Tech. I know that. He was pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? Right.
John Mateer is with family having a discussion on his future. Now, obviously, with that, comes the money question. How much can he get from the portal? And if the numbers equal, you would think he'd want to go play with someone where he knows the offense.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I see the sarcasm in this chat by some people. It's pretty funny. Yeah, I think yours is going to league too, Jen. I think it's just talk about money. It's a money thing. And if anything, it's going to get more people more money. That's what happens. Yeah, and Chris is jumping in there saying nobody has anything. I think most of the stuff you see on Twitter, yeah, I would think he's going to go pro. Too much of a risk, isn't it, to come back and play somewhere else? I mean,
yeah.
And it's not like Dylan Gabriel, where Dylan Gabriel had a 7th or 8th round undrafted grade. It's a little different.
Hey, OU ain't rich, but it's not like they're poor either. So, yeah, his agent has confirmed it. Hey, Greg God. Greg God, I'm curious. I want Greg God to drop the 5 names that he would say we've missed all on the big targets. Drop me 5 names, Greg God, on who OU has missed so far in the portal. 5 guys that you thought they were getting and didn't land them. 5 guys.
Well, it's not a thought they were getting, but like Luke Haas is a
that wasn't even ever even remotely of a possibility. Mostly.
Why? Why, Jeremy? Why?
Because of the previous recruitment, Jay.
Well, to me, you got to figure that out.
I would say OU was not highly on his list, Jay.
I agree with you, but why is what I'm asking.
Because of the first, they didn't get him the first time, Jay. I don't think he was going to go here. I want to know 5 names who they missed out on. I'm trying to think in my head. Reggie, Virgil, maybe?
Virgil, Ball State tight end.
Okay,
McCulley,
now let me respond to that. Virgil, yes. But if they get Bradley, I think he can. We'll see. McCulley, I'm not sure that was a big target for them with all the off-the-field stuff I've heard. Did the Ball State tight end make a visit to OU?
Well, you got to get visits. Though. That's what I'm saying. You got to get some visits.
Did they go after him? Did they go after the Ball State tight end?
Jeremy, how would I know? I'm not living in the coaches' offices. I don't know.
The Rice one, I agree with the Rice one. The Rice one would be one I know they definitely wanted to get. And he has not committed anywhere yet, Jay. So technically haven't missed yet.
So there's the Bobby says
Bobby,
4. Bobby
McCullough. I mean, McCulley, I'm not sure they were all in on that one. Were they? I don't know. I'm not on Insider Board, so I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't think they were all in on that guy like big time target they had to get.
Well, what do you think right now? We're sitting here on December, what is today? The 14th. Now, so Burks is coming back. Hopefully Gibson's coming back. Number 1 position need right now in the portal. What is the number 1 position you need to get? What would you say?
I still say receiver.
Over quarterback or a lineman?
And quarterback receivers are the top 2.
Sooner fan says receiver.
And then O-line. And then O-line.
Quarterback, offensive tackle. I think those are the 3, yeah. I think offensive line, quarterback, and then receiver. I would agree with that. What about tight end? What about tight end, Jerm?
Yeah, although Devon Mitchell, Helms, they got to get one. You got to get one out of the portal.
Yeah,
and hope those 2 stay. That would be 3 tight ends. Hey, Alabama lost Devonta Smith, the cornerback, today. Actually, I think they lost a couple guys today. He's really good.
The running back. I was shocked their running back left. Portal.
Yeah, so did Army's.
Yeah, that was crazy. Navy put it to him today. I was surprised.
Did you hear Boise State's coach? 13 players on his roster that he knows of. For sure, at minimum 13, already been illegally recruited.
Well, that's not, Germ. That happens all the time. Yeah, Justice Hayes. Thanks.
He went on a little rant with it, Jay. I don't care if it happens all the time. It doesn't make it right. NCAA needs to do something.
What are you going to do, Germ?
Something.
What?
Put teams on probation. Put them on probation, Jay.
For doing what?
Illegally recruiting, Jay.
What's illegal recruiting, Germ?
What did DeMarco Murray get in trouble for?
Germ, you're talking about what?
No,
tampering?
I'm asking you.
Are you
What
talking
did
about
DeMarco
tampering?
Murray get in trouble for?
I don't know. Are you talking about tampering?
Yes. Illegally
Germ.
recruited.
Okay, tell me this.
What did DeMarco Murray get in trouble for?
I'm not
Jay?
answering that question because I don't know, Germ. Answer, but
Something
go ahead and
with
read Chief Super. I'm going to come up. I got to ask you something after that.
Chief, thanks to the Super. Appreciate you every single night. I realize it's early in portal season, but are you guys nervous yet? BB careers depends on the portal class. We have to hit it big. I agree. We have to hit it big. And I'm going to tell you something else I saw. D.D. Westbrook today came out. It's like, what's going on? Like, former players are starting to talk, which is never good. But I do think, here's what I'm going to say, Chief. There are so many guys in the portal, I'm not worried yet.
The other thing I would say to that is this. I do think the portal has so many guys in it that there are going to be a lot of guys that people think are going to be really good out of the portal. And then you get them on campus and they're not very good. I mean, you can already say it over the last few years. I'm not talking about OU even. I mean, look at Ole Miss last year. They had an unbelievable portal. Some of those guys that picked up didn't do a whole lot. I mean, you could go down the list. I'm just saying it's a little bit of both. Yeah, you got to get the big time stars in the portal, but you also got to get evaluate the talent right, and it's got to fit your program. Now, here's the deal. Here's what I'm going to say with the whole tampering. There's no way to control it, Jerm. Zero chance. If I were a coach, I could have some random coach on the other team or a player's parent. I mean, there's ways to tamper without being like just talking to them.
I get it.
You're not going to stop it.
Yeah. And Danny Stutzman has not said if he's playing in the bowl game. I would think he's not, but
no, I think him and Bowman are out too much. If you look at their notes,
the phone lines. Let's open them up, Hunter. It's about 9:53. Give me a Thunder update, Jay, because the TV in here just went out. I don't have it.
Thunder update. Last time I saw, they pulled away. They're up like 10 or 12. Let me check it for you. Up 13 points, 6 minutes left.
We will be having a Thunder Live immediately following this one tonight. So it'll be late night with the Surge as we cover Thunder basketball. Phone lines are open. Give us a holler. Talk about what you want to talk about. Okay, that's what we do here at the Sooner Surge. Talk about what you guys want to talk about.
Yeah, and Bobby, real quick to answer Bobby's question or thought about Mateer. I agree. If they get Mateer, it's a start. Now, there'll be competition for Hawkins to battle it out with him, but he's going to start if they get him, unless he gets injured. Let's get to Bobby. What's up, Bobby? How you doing tonight? Happy Saturday night.
Listen, I think on the portal aspect, we're just going to wait probably until after the playoffs. I don't think there's anybody really that decent out there right now to get. I mean, I think you're almost wasting your time getting. These are players that I don't think produced at all. And after the playoffs, I think we'll get better. You know, it'll cost us more money, but I think we'll have a better quality of players. What do y'all think about that?
I'll say this, Bobby. I am with you on the fact that, to me, it's too early to tell how good of a portal season it'll be for Oklahoma. I think it's too early because I got to see who they get. But I will say there are some guys I would have loved to have gotten so far in the portal that they don't seem to have landed. So I think it's a little bit of both. But I'm at a wait and see till the portal season's over to see who they get. Because remember, Dominique Williams was late last year. They got him late.
Yeah. What about that Kansas? Was it the Kansas State 6'4" wide receiver? Have y'all heard anything about that?
Spivey. Haven't heard anything on him.
Oh,
wow.
Have not heard where he's going. I do like him though, Bobby. I like him a lot. I like him. I like Hunter from California, and I like Jaron Bradley from Boston College. Those three guys at receiver, I like all of their hype. They'd be great additions. And you're correct, Bobby. There will be more that enter the portal after playoffs or after their team's done. But right now, there are some guys I would hope that OU could go get right now. So
yeah, we got our hands full against Navy too. They look pretty good, so we're gonna have to really play good. I mean, Hawkins is really gonna have to play pretty good to beat
Yeah.
that team.
I would agree. I would agree. Appreciate it, Bobby.
All right,
Thanks for
thank you.
getting us started, Bobby.
Thanks for calling in. Let's get to
We got
Platoon.
Platoon 20.
Hey guys, piggybacking on the wide receiver thing, I have the 247 Sports transfer portal list with all the wide receivers open, and 90% of them are uncommitted, which is to be expected at this stage. But the 10% that have committed, I would say most of them are going to lower tier schools than OU is. I mean, you've got LSU. I mean, LSU is equal or above us. That's fine. Duke, you got Missouri, Iowa State, Texas Tech. I'm reading through the list here. Arizona, Mississippi State, Iowa State again, Mississippi State again. I mean, these are not like elite programs that these guys are transferring to. So it can't just be about, money. And I don't see how, obviously it's a long way to play out. I'm sure we'll get some of these guys, but I just don't understand why we haven't made a move on any of these guys yet. I mean, surely we can outbid Duke. I mean, I don't think they have a big NIL fund, but anyway, I'll hang out.
I would say,
Well, you know what I think it could be, Platoon? I think it could be a thing where a smaller school, and I'm going to use a different sport, but if you go back to Kennedy in softball, some smaller schools might really overpay to get somebody. And there might be a lot of the bigger schools say, not going to go there for that amount. Now, if Texas Tech wants to offer this much for the receiver, let them have him. I don't know that. I'm asking, could that be a possibility? Because maybe they're going to go all in on one position to get some. I don't know.
okay.
I would have liked, there's a few guys that were mentioned by Zias, specifically Malachi Coleman. I would have loved to have gotten Malachi Coleman. That would be one guy I would have been like, man. But
Platoon 20, thanks for the call. And what I would say, Platoon, is everyone just talked about tampering and the things that are happening. Look, there may be some massive fish that OU and every team around a college football knows is going to end the portal, and we just don't know it, and no one knows it except them. And maybe they're throwing some back if they, they're not really worried if they're not getting any bites right now because they're waiting for the big dogs and the big fish. Now, it may not be that, but that could be it, Jay. I know you weren't a big fisherman. I'm not a big fisherman, but that is a thing, Jay.
What?
That is a thing. And Danny, I don't know who is massive yet. There's going to be some big-time names into the portal. I guarantee you. Guarantee. In fact, there are two bigger ones today. One, the DB from Alabama, and I can't remember who the other one I saw that entered. I said, these guys are pretty big. And there'll be more than that.
There's going to be some more guys enter. But we'll see. I think maybe this Burks deal, maybe this Burks deal gets some things rolling on offense, and you're able to get some guys this week. I mean, you are 1 week into the portal, so I would be like, let's hold tight a little bit, see who comes available, see who you can end up getting. What about JoJo Earl from TCU? Germ used to be at Alabama. What do you think of JoJo Earl?
Yeah, he's a solid player. I don't know how great he is.
Texas Tech wide receiver. Yep, that's right. Bama's Law and Prentice there's still guys out there. You got to get visits. I think that's where I'm at, is get some visits with some of these guys, see what happens.
This is all I'm going to say to Danny, because I'm not going to keep showing the comments that are just kind of way exaggerated when you use words like never.
But you do. But you do. But you do.
What?
But you do.
Yeah, I'm gonna address one thing, and you already made me lose my train of thought, Jay. Jeez. Hey, all I know, Danny, is 2 out of 3 times where you kind of called me out and guaranteed something you were wrong. So you're not batting very high. Your average isn't very good on your take. So I'm going to choose to not really respond to them anymore. Hey,
who would you want is what Belichick's asking. Here's what I will say. Are you talking about the guys that are in the portal right now? I would love to have it one of the tight ends, either the Ball State tight end or Luke Haas. That right now, if you look at the guys in the portal that I'm like missed, I would like to have one of those two. It's a tight end. I think they had a perfect chance. Bauer Sharp transferred. They have an open tight end spot. I would love to have got one of those guys out of the portal. That's where I think that, to me, I'm like, man, I wish they would have got one of those guys. That's all.
I'll never say zero chance, but with everything that's happened and the things that's come out from him, or at least from his. I just don't think that he would. John says, "Come on now, I'm not saying you can't have your opinion. I said I'm going to choose not to respond to some of the exaggerative words of never and no, not one person. That's in the portal. Oh, you won't get one person in the portal. It's just a waste of time to do it. That's all I'm saying, John. Have your opinion. Danny's got his opinion in the chat. Bring it in there. Not bothering me at all, man.
Hey, and I think BB, and I said last year, I thought he would be a lot better with him and Seth Luttrell having that relationship. But he does seem to do good out of it. I think Arbuckle knows how to coach offense, and I think they're going to score points. I do. I can sit here and tell you on December 14th, I think OU will score points next year, and I think they'll be pretty good offensively. How many wins does that equate? I'm not ready to answer that yet. That's what I don't know. But I do think they're going to score points. Guys, Arbuckle has scored points wherever he's been. He's developed quarterbacks wherever he's been. I don't think it's not like he's got nobody to throw. I mean, if Burks and Gibson are back and you go get another guy at the portal and you got some of these youngsters, they have guys to throw to make it work. I don't want you to say it again, but Lincoln Riley's offenses had guys like Lee Morris tearing it up on the field. I could go down the list of some receivers that were never like just top 5 draft picks receivers. So you can make it work if you get guys in there that fit and run the system. I just think you need a couple more at receiver. You need an offensive lineman. You need a quarterback for quarterback competition or a starter. I think those are positions you have to get filled out of the portal. It's not being filled right now with high school. They don't have it. You got youngsters. You got all the freshmen last year on receiver. They could be good. They didn't really do a whole lot this year. They were freshmen. You got the freshmen coming in. They could be good. They're freshmen. You need some experienced guys, I think.
The tight end from Tulsa, Braden, OU's got to do better, in my opinion. Got to do better.
Joe C says Lee Morris is good because he played with Kyler his whole life. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, he was also good because
on those teams.
Earth-shattering news here. The wide receiver, Lee Morris, was also really good because why? He was wide open half the time. It wasn't all because he ran a good route. He was wide open because also the scheme. They schemed a lot of things. And the play action. And whatever they were running, they were able to scheme things open. And I think Arbuckle has some of that in him. I think Lee Morris was a really good receiver. He was underrated.
He was physical. I give him that. He was pretty physical.
Here's why I asked about the Burks. Do you like Jacob Jordan? He played really well last year, right?
I mean,
do you not see a scenario?
I like what he did last year. I'm not sure I want him starting at OU.
Do you not see a scenario where he plays slot?
Not over Burks.
Move Burks outside.
No, because I think they're going to have some other eyes on the outside, Jay.
I agree. I think he played really well when he played last year. I could see him being in that. And I would agree with this. The Jacoby stuff last year was disappointing. Just the whole situation. He started out playing well at defensive back. They moved him, and then he kind of came back. And I hope they figure out one position and stick with it. So.
Yeah, I would definitely love some Jermaine Greshams over Jake Roberts or Bauer Sharps. And maybe they got a guy on campus that can be a Jermaine Gresham.
Great example. Yeah, great example, John. Nick Basquine. Another one. That's another one. And you can go down the list. There were more than that. But.
Hey, callers, phone lines are open. I'd love to hear from people on your take on what's happening at OU, portal thoughts, Heisman thoughts, whatever you want to talk about. We're here for it.
Hey, I'll say this. As bad as OU's offense was, I remember doing a live show after the Ole Miss game. And in that Ole Miss game, after the first half, there were people talking about, oh, wow, the scheming that Joe John Finley did. Oh, my gosh, it looks so good. Guys, Ben Arbuckle is going to come in here and do that. And there will be a lot of OU fans saying, oh, this is what I like to see, some scheming, some stuff for the offense, looks good. But you got to get it. You got to get the offense. You got to get the defense. They all got to play together because that schedule is brutal. And as much as people want OU to go 9-3, that's going to take a lot because I think the schedule's brutal. You got new OC, new offense, play calling, all of it. And you got some new guys on defense. But I think offensively, they will be a lot better. And Greg God, you can say we are cooked. That's fine. I didn't know you played for him, but you can say that. You can, I respect people's opinions. If you don't think OU is going to win 7 games next year, yeah, for sure. I don't know yet. Right now, it's hard to pick more than that because of you don't know who they've got out of the portal. You saw what they did this year. But I do think Ben Arbuckle's going to give them a big jump on offense. I do. I see him going from about – I can't – my tables – I can't go low enough to show you on the camera where I'm at for the offense, but it's going to come up to about here. I think Arbuckle really will make a difference. And did Kevin Johns – is that official with OK State? Did you see that today?
Yeah, it is. It is. Hey, yeah, OU basketball wins Bedlam 80-65. Sam Godwin had the night of his life. 20 points, 14 boards.
They're good.
OU basketball is really good, and now they're not in the Big 12. This team needs to be a Sweet 16 team.
That's probably the dumbest comment I've ever heard from you.
Okay, whatever.
You realize the SEC basketball is better than the Big 12.
It never has been, Jay.
It's not close this year, Germ.
Okay.
It's not close. They're in a tougher conference.
And they should be in the Sweet 16 this year.
Should be in the Sweet 16.
They need to be. I said need to be first. They need to be,
you said
Jay.
Should be.
They're going to be top 10, Jay. They're going to be top 10.
And you said fire Porter Moser 3 years ago after 16 games.
Absolutely did.
And then last year you said fire him. And then the year before you said fire him.
He's been bad, Jay.
Hey, hasn't
been a top 68 team since he's been on campus. They haven't made a top 68.
I agree they have to make the tournament this year, but to say they should be in the Sweet 16, I think is
first. I said they need to be there this year, Jay. They're going to be a top 10 team.
I
agree, Ron. I agree, Ron, because he's been awful in conference games.
I agree, Germ. But go back to last year. They lost so many close games, and they still should have gotten the tournament. But they didn't.
Drop the trivia, Jay.
Hey, yeah, while we're on, I'll drop the trivia. Here we go. Trivia for the night. Make sure you check out the Fan Stop. www.thefanstop.com. Check them out. Officially licensed merchandise. They got some great hoodies and jackets as well. Here we go for trivia. If Hunter kind of teased it there, but tell me the date that OU lost their first game last year. They were 10-0 last year as well. If you don't remember, they were ranked top 10. What date did they lose their first game? Need the exact date. Don't tell me a Saturday. That doesn't count.
How's anyone going to know that, Jay?
Well, there's a thing called Google, Germ.
Yep, I've
heard. You ever heard of
it? Yeah, Kurt Signetti mentioned it.
It was not October 12th. It was not December 25th, although that's closer. They did not play Christmas night. They did not play Christmas Eve either. But y'all are closer.
I know the team they lost to.
Gary, you're close. They lost to an ACC team. Belichick got it. Bag Belichick, December 20th. Good job, Bag Belichick. So December 20th. And Bishop, I can't give you points for that. Saturday. Can't give you points for that.
Man, Jay.
Hunter, wait. Hunter says they have 4 top 10 teams, which, by the way, Tennessee, undefeated. Florida, I think, undefeated. OU, undefeated. But also, how many are ranked in the top 25 right now? I want to say there's like 9 or 10.
Yeah, like in biblical times, you'd start ripping clothes off. That's kind of what I'm doing right now when I get mad. But I'm not mad at all.
What are you mad about?
It just got hot in here, so I was layered up, man. Jay, Giovanni Gibson visit. I didn't think that was official. Hey, and Hunter, someone earlier asked about scholarship situation again. I know you covered it last night, but hey, I can't respond. I'm not going to do it. I said I wasn't, so I'm not going to.
9 available scholarships. There you go. That's right now. 9 available scholarships. Somebody mentioned the Burks thing about making announcements. Do you think Gibson's going to make an announcement? Or do you think, you think it's going to be like a coming back thing? Or do you think
I think that the precedent is set now. I look for, if Gibson comes back, R. Mason Thomas, you're going to see similar things. It's not going to be the exact same. Hey, Jay, when you saw Burks tweet, before you clicked and opened it, were you thinking, crud, he's gone?
No, I figured he'd be back. And by the way,
has he shown himself in uniform in the last couple of weeks? He has.
Yes, that's right. So that's been undefeated.
Jaden Jackson and David Stone as well have.
Yes.
Has Jaden Gibson?
I don't know. Hunter, can you verify to me that I had the right date? Kelvin says 16th of December.
Jay, what do you think of the whole recommitment to the university thing?
What about it? What do you mean recommitment?
Where guys feel like they got to make a statement about a recommitment video.
I think it's great. Jeremy, what do you expect them to do when everybody on Twitter is either bashing them or saying, please come back or leave? What do you expect them to do? They're going to make an announcement.
I agree. And John, he has not left. And he hasn't said anything. I know a lot of people said, well, Reggie Virgil was like his best friend in high school. No, you didn't land him. Doesn't mean anything. Well, guys, I talked to one person I went to high school with. Jay, we only had 3 friends. I only talked to one of them. We had 3 friends. I talked to one of them.
Well, first off, don't tell people how. Wait.
It was his best friend from high school. Ooh.
Why do you always lump me in with the same thing for you?
Because we had the same 3 friends, Jason.
We did have the same 3 friends, but I also had some other friends, Jerm. It's not all hooked to you there, man. Nice try.
Hooked to me.
Yeah. We're not Siamese twins. Whatever where you're joined.
Hunter, viewers don't.
That's exactly right, Hunter. That's exactly right. Jeez.
But Hunter, guess what I do on here every night, every single night. I tell it like it is. I'm a transparent person. I'm not fake or a phony or a fraud. I speak whatever it is that we're talking about, and I'll speak truth to me. Okay, it's not always right. It's often wrong, but I'm going to do it.
Giovanni Gibson went to SMU in his visits lineup for Virginia Tech, Okie State, Cincy, and Mississippi State. Safely not OU as of now, which look at the teams he's visiting. I'm surprised that he wouldn't consider OU if he's visiting those schools.
I think Hunter and Bradley are as good as him, and they've definitely played. Size-wise, they're all about the same. They're all 6'3", 6'4". That's right, Ron. I am. Honest Abe.
I do think they need some physical receivers. I think that's something they need. Stay true to you, they're saying, Jerm. Stay true to you. Thunder win, baby. Thunder up. We'll be doing Thunder Live here in about 15 minutes when we get off this. So join us. We'd love to have you on there. The more the merrier on the Thunder Live. It would be great. They are in the finals now, so that's great stuff. By the way, I got to say this. I have not said it yet on this live. Give Vegas an NBA team, please, now.
Well, yeah.
Please. That stadium is unbelievable.
I wonder how they can build it.
Team. What?
They have money, dude. Yeah, they should have a professional. They should have a professional basketball team.
It's elite. And I do believe this, John. John, I do believe that I don't think you need a top 5 wide receiver to be drafted in the NFL to run a good offense at Oklahoma with Ben Arbuckle. I don't. I think you got guys. I think the more important position for me is quarterback right now. That to me is the one you got to figure it out. Who's your quarterback next year? You got to figure that out. And I think followed up by offensive tackle, offensive line. I think those two, in my opinion, are ahead of wide receiver.
I think you got. I
do, Jeremy.
2 guys out of the 4
What?
Now this is in. I think you got to get 2 out of the portal. This is interesting what Really Real says, and I'm not disagreeing. There was talk of this when Ivan Carrion was recruited, that he has kind of the body frame that could put some more weight on and be a tight end. Now, I've also said I wouldn't mind Jaron Kanik giving that a shot. But,
Hey,
yeah, I don't know.
You know what I wouldn't mind either? I know it won't ever happen, but I saw this guy enter the portal and I was like, I'd like him at OU again. Mikey
Henderson.
Man, was he good? He was going to be. What
did he do? What did he do after he left, OJ?
I don't know, but what did he do to get in trouble? Do you remember what it was?
No, and I don't really want to talk about what someone did to get in trouble.
I don't either. I just remember how he was awesome that first year he played. He's not coming back.
Perryman. Mitchell has to play. I want to see Mitchell and Helms in the bowl game. Look, I'm going to say this again, just like I said last year, the same time of the year. I don't really care about the bowl game, except, and it's all about next year. So in the bowl game, I want to see Devon Mitchell. I want to see a lot of David Stone. I want to see Danny Okoye. I want to see guys like that and Caden Helms. That's what I want to see.
I agree with that. And I agree with Tulpa here. I think I like Hawkins a lot. I really do. How comfortable are you next year in a new offense with that SEC schedule? It would be better for him to wait a year and then come and take the reins. That's what we got to wait and see. I was wanting to get at something of this. Do you think he's at all, man, if he would have stuck around last year, he would have got to play quite a bit, wouldn't he? That receiving core.
Hey, what was the talk about? He would have, Jay. Nigel Smith. No one's.
Dent's another one. Dent's got to play.
How many more days in the portal? You got
14.
Do the math.
14 more days. But remember, after the bowl games, you have another. You can still enter, so it closes technically for all these other teams.
Definitely want to see more Boganowski, and I don't know, Jay. I don't know how many more guys will hit the portal. If they haven't hit it yet, I don't know how many more will. Jackson was at the OU-OSU game tonight, I know. Great win. Dominant victory. OU is really, really good. They're really, really good in basketball.
Hey, and let me, Hunter, I think dropped here, 207 on here, only 67 likes. Hit the like button. It really does help the channel out big time. You know, there's an algorithm. I don't even know how to say it with YouTube. It does help. And I got to say, all you Surgeaholics that are on here every night, I'm going to say this, and you might say it's just speak whatever. It's just me speaking, and it doesn't mean y'all being on here every night's big time. Okay? It really is, because, you know, we get on here to do this every night, and we don't know who's going to be on here. We hope y'all will be on here. And every night, y'all show up like clockwork, and it's amazing. You're the best out there. Surgeaholics are the best. We appreciate you guys, as always, keeping the chat rolling. Because without the chat, it'd just be me and Germ talking to each other, a bunch of talking heads. Nobody wants to listen to that. Nobody.
Well,
maybe Germ. Germ, you may want to listen to it.
We had 3 friends in high school. At least one of them would listen to it. Cheesy Jay is the best, Jay. Good job, Jay.
Hey, I'm cheesy now. Hey, I'll take it.
Cheesy. Smells like Limburg cheese, but he is cheesy.
Cool.
Hey,
cool.
Listen, I was the one that said about Mateer that there are some games this year he didn't look very good, because there are some games that he didn't look very good. I mean, that can kind of be said about a lot of people, it's, in my opinion, every team has games like that. He did not perform well in a couple of those games. Washington State did not perform well in a couple of those games.
Yeah. Hey, I need some advice.
Actually, DG did perform badly didn't have a great game, I don't think, early in the year, a couple games. They almost lost.
DG had a great year. Don't bring that up tonight.
I didn't say he didn't have a good year, Jay. He had a great year. Oh, but I was right. He didn't have as good of a year as he had at OU.
Hey, I need some advice from the Surgeaholics. Christmas movie. I need to know, Red One dropped on Prime. Is Red One worth watching? Yes or no? I just need a yes or no.
I've heard it is, Jay. I've heard it is.
I've heard it is too, but you know what? I have heard it is too, but I trust my Surgeaholics here, and they won't guide me the wrong one. So
listen, it's 10 days till Christmas almost. You've got it. Hey, if you're sitting there like I am, I haven't shopped any, and you're thinking, man, what should I get this person? Just go to thefanstop.com, and sign them up for a shirt of the month club, and they'll think, oh, I'm getting a shirt. Yeah, and then they'll get another shirt the next month, another shirt the next month, and it's different design. It's different each and every month, fitting to what month it is. It's great. Thefanstop.com. Go there. Sign up.
Most overrated movie of all time. Elf. I said it. I know a lot of people will disagree with me there. But
hey, let's just talk about, BV kicked DG out and whipped in portal program as a joke. You know, why you follow a program that's a joke, I'm not sure. BV did not kick DG out. And if he did, DG should be thanking him for it. So he didn't get kicked out. Absolutely did not. It's bad for people to say that, honestly.
is it realistic to expect Hawkins to pick up a new offensive year one? I think it's realistic. I think he's a smart guy. I think if you go look at offenses that are really good and have really good quarterbacks, most of the time they're offenses they favor the quarterbacks, which mean they're pretty simplified for quarterbacks. You think about Josh Heupel's offense, think about Lincoln Riley. It's very quarterback friendly. And I do think Arbuckle has a quarterback friendly offense.
Timeout. Hey, I want Gray God because, look, we got 8 minutes left. Gray God, please call in and inform me on this. Please call in and inform me, enlighten me. Second of all, I said I wasn't going to respond to Danny, but I'm going to. I am so tired of the Soul Mission and BV's leading a Bible study. You know what? I'm glad he is. I'm glad he's a Soul Mission leader. I'm glad he's a guy with integrity. I'm glad he's a guy that may be having Bible studies. I'm glad he is. I wish they'd win more football games, but I'm not going to sit here and bash that side of it, okay? There's
real
nothing
quick.
wrong with having Jay, wait, there's nothing wrong with having high integrity, Soul Mission, and guy who's doing that type of thing and leading people in
I gotta
a
stop
great
you.
way. I don't know why that talk keeps getting.
I got to stop you real quick. If you're going to say that, then you need to say that about Patty Gasso too. I don't hear anybody complain about Patty Gasso.
No one says anything about what Patty Gasso's doing because she's winning.
Nobody says anything about her preaching and Bible, whatever. So it comes with one thing: win football game.
Exactly. The other stuff doesn't need to be brought up, Jay. I go to Bible study. I love it. I love that he's leading men. I love it.
But you got to win, though. That's where it comes down to. Period. You got to win.
So at the end of the day, I'm not going to talk about those things that are great.
And
that's a great thing, in my opinion, has nothing to do with it. Dave, thanks for the super. I'm waiting on Great God to enlighten me on I was totally wrong about DG. Because I actually listened to a story where DG spoke, Jay, in an interview, and he didn't get kicked out. Okay.
And Lori's right, because she is winning. If BV was winning football games right now and they were going 10-2 every year, nobody would be mentioning that. But Jeremy, that's what happens, dude. When you don't win games, you're going to get blamed on whatever part of the program people are going to say. That's just normal. I don't know why that surprises you at all. I just don't understand why that surprises you.
It did. I'm not surprised by it, Jay. I said, I don't understand why that has to be talked about. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about football-wise.
I agree. I agree with that.
I'm just tired of that kind of thing when it's not really even what has to do with football right now, what we're talking about. So
asked to leave, not kicked. I think
it
was probably more of asked to compete for the job. If that's what you want to say is like leave. But who knows, Jerm? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Well known as a false rumor is what Hunter says. It's well
Maybe
known.
we'll never know. Or maybe we'll never know.
Well, all I know is DG's much happier, and I would be too if I was him. So yeah, look. No, I yell a lot. Yeah. BB told DG it wasn't matching. I'm not even. I don't know why this got brought up. Maybe it was my fault.
Move on, then, Germ. Move on. I don't know why you're still talking about it.
Lance is asking our age. I won't tell mine because Jay doesn't want his known, and we're twins. So.
Hey, and Lance, appreciate you being on here as always. You're you're on here all the time, and we appreciate you big time. So thank you, Lance. And Zayas, I mean, all you guys that are on here every night, like I said earlier, we appreciate it. Bobby says, I think it's
Bobby's
great.
Got a hot take here. Bobby says he thinks it's great when fans can discuss their teams without bias, but it's wild when you're a fan of a team and constantly bash them. I turn in my fan card like I did the Cowboys if I got to that point. I don't know who he's referring to. Maybe some people in the chat. I don't know.
Yeah. There's also the side
of Dan Mullen. Did you hear what Dan Mullen said about the offense they're going to run? And I'm curious where Brendan Marion's going to go, Jay, because he's not going to stay at UNLV, in my opinion.
Not with Dan Mullen there.
Did you hear what Dan Mullen said?
What did he say?
He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, don't quote me exactly. He said something like, well, this is Vegas. We're going to put
entertainment capital of the world.
And we're going to put on a show. I thought it was great. And Stiller, man, you're right. No one should accept their team being bad, and that's not what Bobby meant, I don't think. I don't think anyone should accept a team being bad like OU has been. It's bad. But some of the exaggerative comments are just a little too much, in my opinion.
Well, and Grey God, I understand if
they're welcome, though. Welcome.
I understand Grey God, and I think a lot of OU fans right now that are frustrated because it's year one of the SEC and they went 6-6, but that's not going to stay forever, in my opinion. I think they're going to turn it around. What year will that be? I don't know. I have no clue, but they're not going to be down forever in the rest of my life. I'm not expecting that. I hope it's not the Dallas Cowboys situation. My goodness, my Dallas Cowboys they haven't turned around since 1995.
Hey, yeah, and we're still on there. I'll watch them every week. Market to win. Look, here's what I'm going to say. If it's ridiculous, you don't have to watch. Do we respond? This is what we do every night. We do respond to the comments a lot. And probably some of them we shouldn't, but that's not who we are. We like to have conversations with all of our viewers. We're not going to just show super comments. We're going to show all comments. That's kind of what we do. Unless they're crude and vulgar, and we won't.
Hey, and by the way, let's end it on this. A couple of things. OU football got a big time positive today. And I mean big time with Deion Burks.
Massive.
That is a massive, massive positive for Oklahoma. And anybody that gets on here and says, oh, he didn't have any production, then don't be whining last week and a half when they lost all the receivers. I saw so many people on Twitter whining every time a receiver went to the portal, like Nick Anderson, Andrew Anthony. Oh, my gosh, what's happening in OU? And then when Burks comes back, they're like, well, he didn't do anything. It's like both. I mean, come on now. It's a positive that Burks is coming back. Be excited about it. Also, be excited about this. Be excited about OU basketball. They beat Bedham. They didn't beat him. They whipped him. Okay? They whipped him.
And by the way, Deion Burks did have production when he played.
Okay, but listen, I understand he didn't.
No, I'm talking about the comments that said he had no production.
No, all I'm saying is there were so many people when those other receivers left that said, the OU program's in shambles. And then they get one to stay, and I hear people saying, well, I mean, he didn't do a whole lot last year. Yeah, I mean, just move on. It's like,
Hunter,
can
you drop this? I know it's the end of the show, so I can talk a little more. I would love to maybe have Hunter dropping the stats of the games he played, but without a very good quarterback in the no line, I thought he was their lone bright spot most of the early year.
Yeah.
Pound the table, Jay.
So it's a great – I'm not going to pound the table tonight, maybe tomorrow. It was a great thing today to see that. I think it's a positive note. Now, you need to capitalize on him coming back. You need to now go get some other players in the portal and capitalize on it. And you know what? See what happens next year. But there they are, 31 for 245 yards and 3 tutties. So Burks' video was great.
Hey,
it's a
been
positive.
fun. It's
Yeah.
been fun. It's always fun. Thanks for being on here with us tonight. We appreciate all the comments, all the bantering, all your thoughts. Thanks for keeping them clean for the most part. Let's do that again tomorrow night. We'll see you all tomorrow night. Before you exit, hit the like, turn on those notifications, and check out the Fan Stop at thefanstop.com for great apparel. We'll see you next time, Sooner Nation.
Or we'll see you in a few minutes.